I've heard from so many of you the last few weeks that the way that you have been living your life, the way that you have traditionally made decisions, all of a sudden feels like it's not working, like it's collapsing. So I wanted to share a biology analogy. Imagine you had two different species. One of them was living in a very stable environment, a very predictable environment, where the resources were kind of the same all the time and the environmental conditions didn't fluctuate that much. And one of them is living in a very volatile environment. Things are changing all the time. The resources aren't always the same, and the conditions for even surviving aren't always the same. Now, those two species have very different strategies. And I want you to feel that this is also true for you, especially those of you, those of us that have essentially been trying to live in a predictable environment, right? We've made decisions in our lives where we felt like we could make a decision and predict the outcome. Essentially, we had a strategy where we would choose carefully what we wanted to do. We would invest highly in those things, and we would assume that they are going to work out at some level or another. Of course, we're all human. We've all faced setbacks and disappointments. But that's for those of you that refer to yourself as type A, that's essentially what you've counted on. You've counted not only on you being predictable, but you've counted on the environment you're in being predictable. Your home environment, your work environment, our global environment, even when those things have felt hard and conflicted to some degree, you have had an assumption that your environment was going to be stable and predictable. Now, that assumption is gone, and you have to recognize how deep of a blow that is to the aspect of your psyche that has been trying forever to keep you safe in a predictable environment. Even when the environment wasn't predictable, you were trying to create the illusion that it would be predictable so that you would know what to do. Now, for everyone I've talked to this year, that illusion has either shattered completely or has started to break. When we have an illusion shatter, it is a deep reorganization of our entire being. And in this particular case, where we are now moving into a very volatile time, we've already been in it, right? And we can no longer pretend that what we decide is going to determine the outcome. We need an entirely different strategy for relating to ourselves and our decision making. We can no longer recruit our type A minds to give us safety and security in a seemingly or even pretendedly stable world. We need to start addressing not just the volatility, but the mystery that has been underneath everything all along. So I wanted to just share this as an invitation to welcome you to the mystery, to welcome you to the reality that you have no idea how to protect yourself or survive or thrive or interact with those you love or even relate to massive challenge from this new way of being. We have no idea how to do it yet. And instead of putting that into our type A brains, it's like, great, well, now let's make a new plan. We're not going to do that again this time. We don't get to do that again this time. This time, we get to actually step into the mystery. We get to actually figure out what our deepest values are. We get to actually figure out what's true and what we actually want and need. We get to actually begin living what has always been true, this incredible mystery. So, invitation to just let that sink in for a minute. Take a few deep breaths. Let yourself recognize that the strategies you've used for so long may be coming to an end, and that can be profoundly destabilizing. And in that process of destabilization, just breathe and feel that something really exciting is emerging. Something really fantastic is beginning its own developmental process. It's an entirely new way of relating to you being you in an environment that is no longer predictable and in which you can no longer pretend that it's going to be predictable. So breathe, release, relax, spend a few moments today just recognizing that you are in a colossal transformation, and we all are. and reach out if there's any way that you feel like you'd like some support during that process. And stay tuned because I will be offering a couple of other thoughts on this very theme in just a little bit. Okay, be well, everyone, and I'll talk to you soon.